Hey, what's up, guys? I remember being on a flight from New York to Phoenix one time, and about 15 minutes into the flight, the captain announced that one of our engines had failed. But he said there was nothing to worry about. We still had 3 engines, but our flight would take an hour longer than scheduled because we had to slow down. Then 30 minutes later, the captain announced another engine had failed, and the flight would take an additional 2 hours, but not to worry, we could fly just fine on only 2 engines. And then an hour later, he said the third engine had failed and our arrival would be delayed yet another hour, but don't worry, planes can fly on just one engine. And that's when the blonde lady in front of me sighed because of all the delays. She turned to the man in the seat next to her and said, "If we lose one more engine, we'll be up here all day." Okay, so I've noticed one thing has become super common since the pandemic hit: delays. Have you noticed it too? Like nearly everything gets delayed these days. Business reopenings have been delayed, products ordered online are delayed, every sport has been delayed. I mean, I think my friend delivered her baby on time, but that's like the last thing I can remember that wasn't delayed. Okay, so maybe I'm being a bit dramatic, but there's no doubt that people are using the pandemic as a catch-all excuse for all kinds of delays. And those delays are showing up as adversity in business. Now, when UPS delays the delivery of your new shoes, it's not so bad. But when delays happen on something people consider more important, it feels like adversity. For example, I've sent 5 outgoing referrals over the last few months, and closing for each one of them has been delayed. I mean, moving is stressful under normal conditions, right? Add in a super tight market and delays because of like fill in the blank COVID excuse, and the adversity can feel extra intense. And when I'm talking with agents, one thing's for sure: both agents and their clients are feeling more pressure than ever. And that got me thinking about adversity and self-destructive or self-sabotaging behavior. See, COVID is the most obvious thing to blame for people feeling pressure these days, but it's not only COVID. The truth is, the closer you get to any goal, the more likely it is that you'll feel some kind of pressure and be at risk for self-destructive behavior, whether we're in the middle of a pandemic or not. So think about it. Right as you're about to accomplish something big, life throws an adversity your way, doesn't it? It's almost like life saying, not just yet, if you solve this last thing, then you can have what you wanted. In my opinion, this is life's way of separating those who really want what they say they want and those who don't. When the pressure is on, it's a sign that you're getting really close to your goal. But when that final challenge presents itself, how many times have you seen someone blow it? Like they miss the shot and lose the tennis match, or give up too soon and lose the listing, or get overcome with emotion and blow the diet. Now, there's a huge body of work written in the field of psychology on how to process trauma from the past that might trigger self-destructive behavior. So I wanted to add a few quick lessons to help in a business context. See, when things don't go exactly as you'd hoped that they would, you can learn to handle it in a way that's healthy and doesn't stop progress toward your goal, or worse, throw you backwards a few steps. Okay, so first, if you're not into journaling, I cannot recommend it highly enough. When you feel the pressure of a situation, all you have to do is start writing down what's going through your mind. It doesn't even have to make sense. Just keep writing until it all comes out. There's something magical about writing with a pen and paper that transfers the energy of your mind onto that page. And you'll eventually reach a point where you feel a sense of relief, and that's when you can stop writing. And then second, if you commit to this on a regular basis, you'll eventually begin to spot patterns. You'll notice when something external happens, it triggers an undesired behavior of some kind. For example, you might find that losing a deal triggers you to lose control of your emotions, and you end up eating or drinking too much and blow your diet. I mean, that's never happened to me, but... Anyway, when you notice your pattern, instead of judging it and beating yourself up, just observe it and maybe get a little curious about it. At this point, asking a specific question has made a massive difference for me. Ask, what is the purpose of this emotion? I promise the purpose isn't to get you to blow your diet. The purpose of the emotion is likely to protect you against a perceived threat, and overeating would just be the activity that justifies that emotion. So if that makes sense, then once you're conscious of your patterns, you can then experiment with mindfulness activities that take the place of whatever self-destructive behavior you've been doing. This is where all of the things we used to do before smartphones comes into play. So you could read an actual paper book, I might have one of those out now. You could take a walk with the dogs or meditate. Sometimes I find that reading or meditating is difficult and I need something more physical to keep from doing something that would be counterproductive. So walking works, so does coloring. And a few years back, I made a coloring book out of affirmations. You can get similar ones on Amazon these days. And lately at home, we've been doing puzzles. Well, actually, John started doing them first, and I made fun of him. Then I realized how genius it was and bought some of my own. But whatever you choose, the key to handling pressure like a pro comes down to 3 simple things. Get the noise out of your mind, find your triggers and patterns of destructive behavior, and then replace them with an activity that you won't regret later. Every time I'm on a coaching call these days, one way or another, we end up talking about the pressures of modern life as an agent. So I trust this message can help you in some way. You can handle the pressure, you can have a great business and a great life. So if you need to, get those journals and get those puzzles, okay? Well, thanks for watching, you guys. It's going to be a great week. My name is Jason Edwards, and let's go live a top producer life.